The decade was defined by leather jackets and poodle skirts and saddle shoes. The decade had flavor, that of Pez, Yoo-Hoo, and the Big Mac. It was the start of mass consumption and mass hysteria during McCarthyism. These were the components of a huge cultural shift. Civil rights were being demanded, the Cold War was being expanded, and the space race supplanted by adversaries. In spite of it all, it was a decade of great baseball and some of the finest cards ever made of some of the finest athletes to ever have played. Let's take a look and divert our concerns here in the real world for a moment and purify our minds with a little cardboard meditation.
Those 10 years let us twist, they let us cruise. We found our rhythm in blue suede shoes, leather jackets and slick back hair. You really had to be there or be square. We got lost in the 50s when everything was nifty, and a dime could buy the packs of cards. We had our favorite team. It was a golden decade, it seemed. 10 years still fresh in my mind.
And welcome to Cardboard Meditation. You know, things were getting just a little shaky down in Washington in 1951. President Truman had to dismiss Douglas MacArthur, General Douglas MacArthur, for insubordination. That didn't go over very well. The U.S. was still tangled up on the Korean Peninsula as the Korean War still raged. It was also the year of I Love Lucy. That's when they debuted, 1951. And it was also the year that Bobby Thompson hit that dramatic home run to win the National League pennant for the New York Giants. You know the one.
Thompson up there swinging. Backer throws. There's a long back. It's going to be, I believe. The Giants won the pennant. 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 Bobby Thompson hits into the very back of the left field stand. The Giants won the pennant, and they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
In the National League, the MVP was Roy Campanella for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Rookie of the Year was Willie Mays for the New York Giants. Can you imagine Willie Mays as a rookie? It must have been a blast to watch. The Sporting News Player of the Year was Stan Musial of the St. Louis Cardinals. Batting champion was Stan Musial with a 3.355 batting average. ERA pitching champion was Chet Nichols with an ERA of 2.88. Now, in the American League, the MVP was Yogi Berra of the New York Yankees. Rookie of the Year, Gil McDougald of the Yankees. Batting champion was Ferris Fain of the Philadelphia Athletics. He had a .344 batting average. And the ERA pitching champ was Saul Rogovin of the Chicago White Sox with a 2.78 ERA. The Sporting News Pitcher of the Year was Bob Feller of the Cleveland Indians. Now, in this retrospect of the 1951 season, let's take a look at the very first Topps offering, the 1951 Topps Redbacks. Now, these beauties don't look anything like the Topps cards you're used to seeing. They're much smaller. These cards were 2 inches by 2 5/8 inches with rounded corners. There's also a lot more color splashing around on these cards than the 1948 and 49 Bowman cards, with Topps using red, green, black, yellow, and blue ink, and then using a black and white photo in the middle. But in my opinion, they were still lacking in beauty when compared to the 1950 Bowmans. What do you think? I think so. Still, they were a nice, easy set to collect, and that means even to this day. They're very plentiful. There was a large find at one time. Might talk about that in a minute. You could buy these cards all over the nation. Just 1 cent for a 2-card pack. And just like a deck of playing cards, there were 52 cards in the Redback set. The cards were part of a game. And along with the photos and stats on the front of the card, there were also game situations on the card too, like walk, ball, home run, single. You can see how this game would be played, right? You stack them up, you shuffle them, you turn the cards over one at a time, and you play a game of baseball. Now, it's been said that the reason Topps made this card game is because they were working around the Bowman assertion that they, Bowman, had the exclusive license to market current baseball players with bubblegum. And these cards weren't those. They didn't have any bubblegum, and they were also a game. At about this time, Bowman and Topps were constantly in court, trying to determine who has the rights to the card market. And eventually, Topps bought out Bowman in 1956. They were packaged as baseball doubles playing cards. They were also packed with the Connie Mack All-Star and Major League All-Star cards. Wouldn't it be great to just get those just thrown into the deal? That would be really nice. Now, back in the 70s and early 80s, there was a large warehouse find in Philadelphia, and a huge amount of mint cards found their way into the hobby. And along with the other set from Topps, the Bluebacks, they were just a little more rare. Now, if you look at the back of these cards, you'll notice a color difference. On some cards, there's a cleaner, whiter border, and then there's a cream-type border. I say it's more beigey. And when I started collecting these way back in the 70s, I saw that beige as just dirty. It looks dirty. It looked like kids playing with the cards back in the day just got dirt on them and little grubby hands all over the cards, and that was what they were. It was just dirty, but it's not. It claims to be some kind of cream-colored. So let's take a look at these beauties, okay? I really love the 1951 Topps Redbacks. When I was a kid, I completed this set. When I say I'm a kid, I was like 21, 22. Right now, that's a kid to me. I was excited because I had what I determined some of the oldest Topps cards ever made. I guess they were their first, but they weren't the oldest cards ever made. But I felt that these were almost like tobacco cards. But I was very excited about completing the set. That is a beautiful Yogi Berra. First card in the set. Here's Sid Gordon. Here is Ferris Fane. Ferris Fane was the batting champ in '51. This is Vern Stevens. Trying to keep that in focus for you. It doesn't seem to want to stay. All right. Here's one of my favorite cards in here. This is Phil Rizzuto. It's a pretty good copy of it, too. Right now I'm going to show you the back. Doesn't that just look dirty? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to show you one that's white. You can see the difference. When I was collecting these back in the 70s and early 80s, I guess, I just felt these were just dirty from kids playing with them, but they are a real stock color. That was a beige color for the stock. So, anyway. Allie Reynolds, great pitcher for the Yanks. Howie Pollitt. Here's Early Wynn. On this card, he threw a ball. Roy Sievers, very good ball player for a lot of years. Hits a single in this game. Here's Mel Parnell. See, I like that blue and yellow. Not all the cards were like that. Most of them were green and yellow. I think there were some red ones. We'll find out. He hit a foul out. Very non-productive. Okay, Gene Hermansky. Jim Hegan. This is Dale Mitchell, and he is a ball. I'm going to say something about this guy that I can't prove, but I'm close. Wayne Terwilliger. He's from Michigan. I think he's just north of here up in Charlotte, Michigan, maybe Bellevue, I'm not sure. But I think I'm related to him. I've got relatives whose last name is Terwilliger, and they live in the Bellevue, Charlotte area. That can't be a common name. I hope I'm related to him. He was a great coach. He was a coach for a long time. Okay, I didn't collect these things graded, but I do have some graded. I prefer to use them or get them raw so I could put them in a binder. This is Ralph Kiner. It's in a great shape. I don't know, what is this thing here? It says it's a 4. I don't know. You be the judge. I think it's a beautiful card. Preacher Row, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Looks like there's a lot of walks in this game. There's a lot of balls. This is Dave Bell. Longtime Yankee announcer, Jerry Colon. This is Dick Cocos. See, there's a red one. That's a red and yellow. I think I like the blue and yellow best, but the red and yellow is really good too. This is Dom DiMaggio. It's a beautiful card. See, I don't have any DiMaggio cards, real DiMaggio cards, other than Dom and Vance. Larry Jansen. Here's a great card. Bob Feller. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that collect miscut cards. Look at this. I'm not one of those people that collect miscut cards. Someday maybe I'll replace it. But I sure love the card. Ray Boone. Here's Hank Bauer. And this is a green and yellow back. Isn't that nice? Looks good. I think it's a good looking card. It's got a strike on him though. It's Cliff Chambers. Crack! He hits a single out to left field. This one's Luke Easter. I love Luke Easter. He played in the Negro Leagues. And after his baseball career was up, he went on to work for a factory somewhere down, I believe, in Cleveland, or it's in Ohio somewhere, but I thought it was Cleveland. One day he's running the payroll to the bank from the manufacturing plant, and 2 people accosted him outside, shot him, killed him, took the money. That is such a sad ending. There's a park down there named after Luke Easter. He's a good ball player. I think he was a good man. Willie Westlake. Wally Westlake. The print's kind of small on here, and it's kind of dark in here, but the count's 2-1 on Wally. Elmer Vallow. Again, there's that red and yellow. I'm going to keep talking about that because I just think these are really cool, the red and yellow ones. I think they're all really cool, but they're just appealing in some ways. Here's Bob Kennedy. Got to screw that hat on a little tighter. It's coming off. This was a card that really threw me when I was younger. Like I told you, I was 21, 22 or something like that when I got this, when I completed the set. This was the second to the last card I needed, It's Warren Spahn, and I'm looking at him at this card, and I go, this has got to be his rookie. It's got to be his rookie card. I was just excited to get a Warren Spahn rookie. Well, 48. Was it 48 or 49 was Warren's rookie season, but it just looks like a picture taken in 48 or 49, doesn't it? He's just a young whippersnapper. 1951 Redbacks. Ball 1. Another great card. Gil Hodges. Do you see that? That blue and yellow, doesn't that just stand out? It does. Hank Thompson. Got a strike on him already. This is William Worley. Grady Hatton. Here's another really cool card. This is Al Rosen. Good ball player. Nice card. I just picked up an Al Rosen, 1956. I'm going to be showing that as a pickup pretty soon because, first of all, I think the 56 cards are nice. I don't have a lot of them. This card just looked beautiful, and it was graded, which I don't buy graded cards normally, but I thought this one was nice. I bought it. I paid $6.99 for a graded, I don't know what it is. It might be a 4 or a 3, but it's beautiful. Really? $6.99? Gus Zernial. Now, this is one of the cards that are an error card. So when we get to the end of this, you'll see where the errors are. But you can take a look right now at his hat. There's no team designation on there. That's for good reason. All right. Wes Westrom. This is one of the cooler cards. This just looks cool. And this is another one of the grade. I only have 2 graded cards in the set. It's a grade 5. I had to look at it before. It's Duke Snider. Duke slaps a single over the shortstop. Rounds first base. The Dodgers got something going on. Oh, I couldn't make this one out. Ted Kluszewski. That's a young-looking Ted Kluszewski, isn't it? It's 1951. I think he was a rookie in 1950, so this would have been his second-year card. Mike Garcia. Member of that Cleveland Indians pitching staff back in the 40s there. Man, this guy could throw. The Big Bear, that was his nickname, the Big Bear. Whitey Lockman. I feel that Whitey Lockman played for a lot of years. I should have checked into that before opening my mouth, but I feel like I saw lots of cards of his right up to the end of the 60s. Ray Scarborough. Maurice McDermott. I wonder if they ever called him Mo. Mo McDermott. I don't think they did. I've never heard it before, but if he were around today, I'd call him Mo. This is Sid Hudson. This is Andy Semenick. Having a little trouble reading him in the dark here. Sorry. This is Billy Goodman. Now, here's a guy I've never heard of before. I mean, I wouldn't say that I know everything about the baseball players and baseball cards, but I've heard of most names, and I've seen most names. Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing this guy ever. Tony Glaviano. St. Louis is the team he's with there. I don't know which team that is. Is that the Browns or the Cardinals? Looks like it's the Cardinals. I have no idea. I've never heard of Tommy Glaviano. Here's a good ball player. I love this guy. Never saw him play, but he has some great stats for a guy that's not in the Hall of Fame. Went on to be a manager for the White Sox. I can't remember who else. Eddie Stanky. Al Zarilla. Is that a pretty card or what? It's a pretty cool card here, and it's in good shape too. Monty Irvin. Some of these cards are a little creased. I'm okay with it. They're old. I'll tell you right now, I got creases too. Wrinkles. I can't expect more out of my cards. Eddie Robinson. I challenge you to look up the Eddie Robinson in the 1952 Topps set and look at that. He looks like a cartoon character in it. He does to me anyway. He's got a great big giant smile. It doesn't look natural. And the final card is a fly out, and it is Tommy Holmes. The other card of that has a variant, and this is the update. This is where he's actually a manager, no longer a player. As you can see here on these variations, the Tommy Holmes card was noted a Boston Brave outfielder, and it got changed to now he's a manager in the Hartford of the Eastern League. And then over here on the right side, it's Gus Zernial, where he had a Chicago White Sox bio, and then he was traded to the A's, and that's also reflected in the card. Are the 1951s beautiful? They're very simple, and they're a game. And I think when kids might have picked those out of the packs and they started making little sets of them to play the game, what a joy that must have been back in 1951. You know, I don't want to make the comparison of video games. Maybe that was their version of video games, but it would be something that kids would play out on the stoop. You know, they'd play the cards and play the game. I think that would just be the coolest thing to do. If I were in 1951, I would definitely be doing that. Well, that's it for this episode of A Time for Cardboard Heroes on Cardboard Meditation. I appreciate you tuning me in. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and please comment. I love to see the comments. It's really something that it really kind of helps me, kind of lights a fire under me and makes me go in a different direction when it comes to creating content. So your input is greatly appreciated, probably more than you know. All right, next time, 1952. Talk soon.
Cardboard Meditation helps set your mind right. Thank you for watching. Show us your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell while you're at it so you'll know when we upload a new story.